If you're wondering what's been going on with Bitcoin, then I might be able to shed some light on that for you in today's video, because yesterday Bitcoin got this massive spike up due to a bunch of fake news about the ETF being accepted, and since then everybody has found out that the ETF has indeed not been accepted yet the price of Bitcoin remains very high. And in fact, one of the key things that we've actually been able to pull off now ever since this instance in the market here is we've now also closed above our daily Ichimoku cloud, which, if we've been watching the market consistently over time, we're actually going to know is a very important metric as far as resistance goes. We can actually see the last couple of times that we've engaged in the Ichimoku cloud with the Ichimoku cloud as resistance, it has resulted in disasters for Bitcoin right here on the daily time frame. And even the most recent occasion before yesterday also resulted in rejections for Bitcoin, yet we have now clearly, unequivocally managed to get ourselves above this resistance level with a daily close, and we're coming up to that second daily close above the Ichimoku cloud as well. Now there's this kind of saying that goes in FBI negotiations, hostage negotiations, that you may have heard of if you read certain books like Never Split the Difference, which is that if you don't manage to get the hostage back within 72 hours of negotiations, the first 72 hours, your likelihood of ever getting them back drops down significantly lower. And why is that related? Well, it's not. But what we do see is some similar setups playing out in the market, where if you manage to get a breakout, but nothing changes within 72 hours after that breakout, well, then you probably know that this is legit. And so far, we are now looking at, we can actually just calculate this with the hours. Let me just drop a horizontal line so we know exactly what we're dealing with. This is just an interesting way and a very useful way, quite frankly, to help tell us, are we actually looking at some legitimate price action here? Now, for the most part, it has been an entire 24 hours since we've been above this line. So we're not at 72 hours yet. We're not past that level. And to be clear with you, 72 hours is not the magic number, okay? That's what the FBI uses for a very specific, set of things. But for us as traders, we're interested in two different things. We're interested in getting a daily candle above the area of resistance. Check, we got that. Number two, the second thing we're looking for is rising up above the resistance level by either 1% or 3%. So if we take a look at what that looks like right here, well, our resistance level is right here. We managed to get above it at our high by 1.8% and up to the current price up by about 0.5%. So we're kind of fitting these rules right now. We've had a full day above the resistance, and we're kind of like 1% above, a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on how you look at it. So it's not perfect, but we are starting to show these signs that our resistance levels are not holding the price back. Now, what I really like is that our horizontal area of resistance, the existing resistance line that I've had drawn on this chart for a bloody long time, is exactly where Bitcoin has been topping out over this past 24 hours. We haven't been able to get above this area of resistance, which is absolutely phenomenal for two reasons. Number one, it tells me that my analysis was fucking fantastic, but we already knew that. Thanks for shooting up those likes on this YouTube video and making sure that you're subscribed on the way in. We already knew that was the case. But number two, it also tells me that we are engaging with our resistance levels in very healthy ways, which is exactly what we want to see. Now, the more time that we spend up at this resistance level, the more likely we are in my books to end up breaking it. And of course, we can actually just take a look at this on the 1 hour time frame to really zoom in a little bit and start to notice that actually we've potentially got a bit of an ascending triangle formation starting to show up on this chart right now, which is absolutely fantastic because these kind of patterns do tend to break to the upside. So I'm definitely very happy to see that right here. If we do kind of follow what this looks like, we're basically seeing a pattern of higher support levels coming into the market, holding the same resistance levels. So that is generally going to be an indication that we're looking at big price moves to come to the upside. And what we can actually do is extrapolate targets from this kind of thing just by measuring the height of this ascending triangle, which is about a 2% range. And if we manage to pump up by 2% from here, that does put us above the $29,000 level, which is absolutely fantastic and very, very useful at this time in the market. Now, how significant of a resistance level is this 28.6 area? Well, if we zoom out and look at how the market has responded to this area over the last couple of months, this has been one of the stronger areas of resistance for Bitcoin since March of this year. years. So we're going back 7 months now. This has been a significant area of resistance since then. And we can see that because we got a top out rejection right here, towards the middle end of March, right here. And this is actually where the big move up, where I went long and made all of this beautiful profit, happened. It all stopped right here. So, that tells us that, not only did it kind of, suppress the price for, an entire 3 weeks, but it also stopped a rally where the price went up from, low to high by basically like 50% within less than 2 weeks. So, an extremely strong area, to not only stop the market after such a strong rally, but to stop the market for 3 whole weeks. So, definitely important. And since then, we saw some flips between other, kind of support resistance. We saw continued resistance. Of course, it stayed as resistance when we dropped below it, and then it flipped into support. So we're seeing the same level continuing to have interactions. Look, I don't think this is going to be the easiest area of resistance in the world to clear, and we knew this going into this, right? One of the key things I was warning you guys about on this YouTube channel, again, if you were subscribed, you're going to know all about this, is that this block is heavy resistance as far as I'm concerned on this chart right here. It's definitely one of the things that could be causing problems for Bitcoin. And I was saying that because, this has just been where a lot of the consolidation has happened, where a lot of the rejections have come in. Look at this. We've just constantly been having problems in this green box that stretches from basically 27,000 right up to where we are now at 28.5. And we knew that the top of this band is the heaviest area. But the good news is that if we do end up, continuing to hit this level, even if we come back down for a bit of a support grab, one of the things that people just still keep on missing, but of course, if you're watching this YouTube channel, you're not going to get blindsided by this kind of thing, is that we are in a situation where, if we come back to the chart here, look, if we are able to, drop down and capture, support levels at higher levels consecutively each time, well, that puts us in a really strong position. And for some reason, this just seems to be completely lost on absolutely everybody and their grandmother, which just doesn't make any sense to me. But what we want to see in the market is that the price can come back down and capture support at higher levels and then continue to rally up. And what we've done, ladies and gents, whether you pay attention to the Cointelegraph news or not, whether you've got your lotion on your fucking desk or not, whether you hate me or love me, or you're watching whoever or following whoever on Discord or Twitter or whatever, what is absolutely undeniable is that we have now set 3 higher lows in this trend and 3 higher highs, or more specifically 2, because the first 2 don't necessarily technically count. But we have got a very clear trend now. We've got 3 points on each side proving to us that we are setting higher lows and higher highs. And to be bearish, with that in front of your face is, you got to have some real fucking conviction with your bear hypotheses, because, the market is really proving you wrong right now. And look, does that mean the market's going to continue to prove you wrong forever? Of course not. Not necessarily. Things can change, and the market could just be very irrational right now. But what's more likely, and this is the same thing I've been telling you guys before, is what's more likely that you and every single other fucking shit-munching friend trader that you have off Twitter and Discord and Telegram are all correct because you're somehow part of the fucking, elite 10% of people that are always fucking making money? Is it that you are more correct, or is it that the market has simply doubled off a low and has now been consolidating for 6-7 months? Doing the most bullish thing it could do, doubling off a low, consolidating for an extremely long period of time, getting ready for an next blast off. What's more likely? You tell me. This is just basic fucking TA. I'm not and this is the thing that I think a lot of people miss when they call me, a perma bull or whatever, is look, I really don't care about your labels. Ultimately, I'm here to make money. So if being a bull is going to make me money, you best believe I'm going to be a bull. Why is this difficult for people to accept? But I think the other thing that is really important to keep in mind is that this is actually very simple, straightforward TA that I'm giving you guys. I'm not talking about anything groundbreaking. I'm not talking about anything that is particularly difficult to digest or accept or understand as a technical analyst. All I'm saying is that the trend is clearly up, and all we are doing right now is we are pausing the trend by trading sideways. So you tell me, bro, what does that mean? If the trend is moving in a particular direction and then the trend pauses, well, it's only a pause, right? We're not necessarily looking at a reversal. This is what we look for. We're looking for, are we in a reversal or are we in a continuation? And to me, everything is still pointing to this being in a continuation. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean I have to be correct. This is not going to be the last time or the first time that I'm wrong if I turn out to be wrong about this. But the point is not about being correct or incorrect in any specific scenario. The point is about being correct across time. The point is about being correct across 10 different scenarios and being correct more often than you're wrong. Or at least bottom line, just making money, and those are different things. So, I think we really need to understand that when you really detach yourself from the moment right now and you look at things with that bigger perspective of, look, it doesn't fucking matter what happens on the 17th of October, 2023. What matters is my overall performance throughout 2023. When you start looking at it that way, you start to really detach yourself from the day to day, and that's where the money starts coming in. I'm telling you that this is the case because I've been there. I've been the guy that wasn't doing analysis correctly, that was too emotional, too caught up in the short term. And you know what? Do that if you want to do it. It really doesn't make any difference to me, obviously. But if you're here to accelerate your trading journey, if you're here to actually pick things up and do well, then this kind of note is going to be extremely useful for you. And ladies and gents, another thing that's going to be very useful for you is over $196,000 in bonuses. So go ahead and check out the links in the description if you are interested. Bybit is going to be giving you up to $30,000 in free trading bonuses when you sign up and start trading using my link in the description down below. CoinW is also giving you $50 for free to trade with. All you have to do is sign up using my link and open a futures account. You don't even need to make a deposit, and they're going to give you that $50 for free. So look, I don't care what you do with that $50, but it's completely up to you. You can YOLO that shit into a 100x trade, or you can trade with it sensibly. It really doesn't matter, but that is free capital for you to take advantage of. So definitely do check it out. And BingX gives you access to traditional finance markets. So Tesla, Forex, gold, whatever you like, S&P 500, they've got it all, all with Bitcoin deposits as well. So, very, very flexible exchange, well worth checking out as well. My top two remain, CoinW and Bybit just for crypto trading, but BingX, with that unique selling point of having access to traditional finance is very, very cool. So check them all out, especially Bybit with that link down below, up to $30,000 in free trading capital that they are giving you. So that is very, very cool indeed. And if we do bring it back to the market now and start talking about where this thing might go, another thing that I want to start discussing with you is our resistance or support that is developing on the chart. So we do have a nice little block of support that's going to start giving us, some support in the next kind of 4 or 5 days from now. This level is basically around the lows that we've been setting in the last 24 hours, kind of down to $28,000. So if, somehow we just kind of end up trading sideways here until that point, then you could expect that this support is going to help Bitcoin get a little bit higher. And similarly, we've also got the EMA ribbon, which has not caught up to the trend yet. But as you can see, when we get a nice spread on the EMA ribbon, spread basically means that you can see each individual line. For example, there's no spread over here. You can't distinguish each line. Over here, you can't distinguish each line, but over here, it's very clear. You can see each line very clearly. When we've got a nice spread and the price falls into the ribbon, it's very consistent that we start finding support off it. It's an incredibly reliable indicator. Look at this. We start developing a spread and bam, 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 bam. Just consistently finding support off this level. So, this still has not caught up to the trend. So either we see the price coming down or the EMA is going up, or of course both. More likely, I think we probably just trade sideways and this thing catches up. This is going to be another window of opportunity that opens up for the bulls. So I don't think it's necessarily open now. This gives the market a little bit of a chance to continue to cool off, because really what it looks like to me, as somebody that's been analyzing these markets for 6.5 years, is that we've made a big move up. Obviously, this is very weird, anomalous price action, but what we're doing overall is we've made a nice move up here, and we're just trading sideways, consolidating below a high, getting ready to blow this thing up. That's just off my experience, that's what this looks like. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, of course, but that is what I'm seeing right now. And those EMA ribbons, if they do manage to catch up to the market, they are probably going to give Bitcoin a nice opportunity, towards basically the next kind of 48, 72 hours, maybe towards the tail end of that time frame, basically, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday even, but by the end of this working week, I think that there's going to be a really nice opportunity for Bitcoin. And then it's like I said, after that, we've got the EMA ribbon, so Bitcoin's in a pretty good place from that perspective, even on the daily time frame here. If we go towards the kind of middle of November, our resistance is starting to close off, right? So, if we manage to do something a little bit like this, get above and then come back down for some support towards the end of November, this might even be a support cloud by then. So, You know, I mean, it's starting to put Bitcoin in a good position. I mean, we've seen what happened the last 2 times that Bitcoin successfully used support. We plunged right to the bottom of the Ichimoku. And this is the thing, guys. I mean, as resistance, it's formidable resistance, but as support, you best not turn your neck away either. You know, I mean, this is incredibly reliable in my experience. Look at it on the daily time frame here, right to the bottom, and then bam, we shoot up. Right to the bottom, and then bam, we shoot up. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. We did fake out and drop below it on both occasions, but not by very much. And it doesn't really matter. We're not looking for exacts here, you know. But yeah, this daily Ichimoku cloud starting to close up is definitely potentially going to start opening the skies up for Bitcoin a little bit in the future. You know, and similarly, if we take a look at the S&P 500, I don't think it's looking particularly horrible here. You know, we had a you know, fairly steep drop down you know, towards the end of the last week, and yesterday we saw a big recovery. Today, actually, just as of like an hour ago, the S&P 500 was in a pretty good place. Yeah, as of like 2 hours ago, we are now pulling back a little bit. You know, but for the most part, I think what we are seeing here is you know, some sort of fake out below this rectangular box. I don't even need the Ichimoku cloud here. You know, some sort of fake out below this rectangular box. You know, and we are now you know, just kind of consolidating above that resistance. Hopefully now, I mean, it clearly looks like we are starting to use it as support. So we'll continue to watch this and see how this does play out. You know, right now, it's not looking too bad to me, to be honest. You know, I mean, as long as we can stay above this green box, I'm pretty happy with the S&P 500. This has been pretty good support for the S&P 500 going back, you know, for well, to the current day, going back for about 4 months, you know, and back to the breakout point by about 3 months. So you know, is it reasonable to say that all of this was just a fake out and we're now gonna, you know, fuck around above this yellow line? I think it's reasonable. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly unreasonable, we'll put it that way. So you know, that's something I'm going to continue to keep an eye on. And the dollar just kind of quite clearly to me looks like on the daily time frame here that it's just kind of stabilizing, you know, forming some sort of a, it could be forming a descending triangle, which would look a little bit like this. We can start forming resistance lines like this, talking about the price dropping down, because these kind of patterns, descending triangles point down, ascending triangles point up. You know, so that could be something that we're starting to see here. We could be starting to see, you know, something more like a bull flag here, you know, where the DXY is forming an equal kind of symmetrical triangle here. And then that would probably be pointing to the upside because the existing trend is upwards. So, you know, it's a little bit hard to say, but I think the bottom line that we're getting from the dollar right now is that we have time, and that's really interesting. You know, I mean, it's honestly not even something you hear me talking about that often, although it's been my overarching hypothesis for Bitcoin for a very long time. You know, but it does look like the dollar is just giving us time right now. It's just kind of consolidating, figuring out what it wants to do, whether it's going to reverse from here or continue on higher. I don't really know what to say about it. To me, just at the moment, and this is not my area of expertise, but it does kind of start, you know, it does look to me like the dollar might take another leg up. Now, is that problematic? I mean, not necessarily, right? I mean, Bitcoin has shown some phenomenal strength, you know, while the dollar has continued rallying on higher, you know, in recent times. So that is a really strong sign, to be honest, of where this market actually is. Bitcoin's dominance just continues to shoot up. Look at this on the daily time frame here. Just, you know, I mean, basically right back up at the high that we only kissed very briefly at the end of June. You know, and really since then we haven't been here since 2021. You know, just to really put this in perspective, kind of makes you feel a little bit old, to be honest. But anyway, this is where we are. Oh, actually, we're looking over here. You know, so I mean, we really haven't been up to these levels for a very, very long time, and you can see that across the altcoin market. I mean, Bitcoin down by 0.3%, and your favorite resident shitcoin down by much more than that. Pepe, as a beautiful example, down by 5%, which is absolutely fantastic. My Bay, one of my favorite little altcoins right now, Tron, only down by 1% compared to even Ethereum's 2.5%. You know, so Four Flies again coming in clutch with the fantastic altcoin picks. Most of the time, my pick for altcoins is no altcoins, and that's why I perform so well. But when I do pick an altcoin, you best believe I'm going to make a lot of money on it, just like I did on Tron, because I managed to go long off this level with like 10x leverage. So, I mean, you do the math. That's like a 2.3 times gain right now from the entry to right now, which is absolutely fantastic. So super happy with that. Even Binance Coin down by 1.5% right now, just holding on, really struggling right at the bottom. You know, I mean, if Binance loses this area of support from a, you know, from a TA perspective, it is lights out for Binance. That is Binance death sentence, death warrant, death everything signed. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if we do start to see Binance dipping below this area of support. So that is going to be something I'm going to continue to watch out for, because I think that the profit-making opportunities here would be absolutely fucking huge. Unfortunately, if you're like me and you don't like Binance because you value integrity, then Bybit is where I'm super happy to be. And you can actually trade Binance Coin on leverage on Bybit as well. So just personal for me, I don't like Binance, haven't liked Binance for many years. I do think they're a great platform for most people, but integrity is important to me, and I've had big personal problems with them, which they've never taken responsibility for. So maybe one day we'll talk publicly about it, but that day is not now. I'm not in the business of throwing shade on anybody. I'll just shit talk them a little bit for my own personal satisfaction, but yeah, whatever. It's no big deal. No, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. I shouldn't even downplay it. But yeah, Bybit right here. Check it out. You got CoinW as well linked in the description. They're giving you up to $50 for free. No, not up to. They're giving you $50 for free to trade with, and that is only if you open an account and then open a futures account just using my link down below. It literally just means you have to click a few buttons, type in your email address, and you're done, and you're getting $50 for free to trade with. If you make any profits with that $50, those are yours to keep. So that is very cool. And BingX giving you access to traditional finance markets. So if you want to trade the dollar, actually I don't think you can trade the dollar, but if you want to trade the S&P 500 or specific stocks, like, you know, some of the key ones I'm watching, like Tesla or like Apple, they are all available to trade on BingX as well, with the link in the description. So that is also very cool. All right, guys, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. You know what to do. If you have, do me a favor, smash up those likes, check that you're subscribed, tick the bell, do all of that beautiful stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.